Hello, friend. Happy new moon in Aquarius. Um, my name's Latoya from Emerald Astrology. I love talking about the moon. That's my favorite thing. And today I want to speak with you about this new moon in Aquarius and what it means and how you can make the most of this experience. Now, the new moon will happen on Monday, January 31st at 11:46 p.m. Central. It's going to be 12 degrees in Aquarius in 20 minutes. So definitely take a look at your birth chart and figure out where Aquarius is in your chart and what house. And yeah, so that get some insight on what this new moon highlights for you. So if you're not familiar with the new moon and its significations, it's all about new beginnings, starting new, doing new things, trying new things out. Just basically, it's a fresh start. Now, if you look at it in a specific area of your life, because wherever Aquarius, rules in your chart, what house it rules, that will give you some indications on where, what area of your life, aspect of your life that you have a fresh start on, a new perspective on, and can start creating, new developments there. So to give you insight, if you're not sure of like what to focus on for this new moon, if you're not sure what to set your intention on, not sure what you're trying to develop or create in your life around this time, it's good to get familiar with what you are feeling and more specifically what you're frustrated about within like the first on the 30th, actually, I'll say 20th, on the 30th of January. So during that time, the moon will be considered dark, in this most darkest phase. No light at all will be showing on it, and represents the dark night of the soul. So around this time, we might have some discomfort, some feelings of frustration, some feelings of hopelessness, or just like discomfort that in an area of your life if it needs your attention. Now, you might be already working with this area and not feel it so profoundly, but for some of us, we will, maybe need to put our attention on it and yeah, we'll feel it much more strongly. So if you would give a more insight or just kind of pay more attention to what it is that's bothering you on the 30th of January, that will give you an idea of what to focus on and set your attentions on to create this better environment or relationship or whatever aspect of your life, so that it's more conducive to your ability to achieve what it is that you're wanting to do and live a more fulfilling life. Um, so yeah, so it's a great moment to set your intentions and pay attention to what boundaries you need to create. Now, Aquarius is all about friendships, networking, progress, humanity. It's very futuristic sign, always forward thinking. These people are quite genius, or, if you know any Aquarius, they're very unique, very different, and have their own specific genius about them, that they're not afraid to shine in the world, or if they are, they try to make themselves extremely normal, which, that just doesn't work because, this person's very different. So we all have Aquarius in our own charts, and wherever Aquarius is, take a look. It's going to show, where your an area of genius could be and worth exploring. Aquarius glyph looks like this. So if you look at your chart, you'll be able to find that. Um, And then that's where, you'll have that focus on the moon. Aquarius is a fixed air sign, and so this is the way that this sign, works in our lives, or this archetype works in our lives, is that we would get ideas and get maybe like fixated on them and wanting to actualize them and protect them, so that it progresses our lives and society, humanity at large. So, that's one of the expressions of it being a fixed air sign, is being very opinionated and fixated on an idea or a way of communicating, or a way of an idea that's needing to be shared, until it's understood, right? Saturn is a modern ruler of Aquarius, and Uranus is Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius. I'm sorry, and Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. Now, I want to focus more on Saturn. Aquarius is in Taurus, but we'll also talk about that one too, because it's actually involved with this moon. But Saturn is 15 degrees in Aquarius, and Saturn more particularly is about discipline, restriction. It's about reality. It's about foundations. It's about boundaries. It's about delays. And, Saturn doesn't always say no to situations or people or things or relationships, but it's more concerned about, how can you attain this and maintain it? How can you get it and maintain it? And so, this takes time. You have to build a system, you have to build routines, you have to build foundations, you have to build connections over time. Saturn's all about time and longevity. So wherever Saturn is placed, it takes time to develop this area. And so Saturn being the ruler of Aquarius, the traditional ruler of Aquarius, he gives Aquarius this ability to be fixated on an idea and see it through to the end, even though it's different. It's very much concerned about society. Saturn gives that sensitivity, I guess, in a way, for Aquarius, even though it's not the sensitive like Cancer, but it's more of just like this awareness of what people of society needs and how to achieve that. Now, Uranus gives Aquarius the ability to think outside of the box and be rebellious of what is, compared to what, in relation to what's up standard. And so, Saturn creates standards, Saturn creates the rules and enforces them. But I guess we could say Jupiter creates the rules, Saturn enforces them, but Uranus is all about breaking those rules. So Aquarius, has to know the rules first before he's able to break them. And I think that's the kind of thing that we're kind of experiencing in this new moon as well, since the Saturn and Uranus is involved. So now that I'm kind of dipping into the aspects a little bit, let's go ahead and talk about it. So the sun is conjunct the moon, and so this always, represents the new moon, and so this just brings a new emotional awareness. A new cycle is beginning, and we have the opportunity to make the most of it. And the moon is is conjunct Saturn. And so this also denotes a new beginning around the sense of control or use of authority. So, discipline, how you're building that routine, how are you, what are you doing day in and day out that's monotonous, but is going to help you achieve that long-term goal. And in terms for Aquarius, it's going to be connection to your networks, friendships, future, thinking. And so naturally it progresses your community, your friends, your relationships, whatever Aquarius rules for you. Now, Saturn is going to make you much more concerned about the bones of it, of how you're building this up so that it is stable and secure. And, some of us may not be as disciplined as we, should be. And this can be very hard. This could be a very difficult moon for you if you're not used to abiding by certain rules that will help you achieve a certain goal. If you're much more of a free flowing and not concerned about um, how to do things in a way that's systematic and predictable, well, this can be a little difficult to deal with, but it's still achievable. It's still able, invites you to do so, and with a little bit of twist to it because the moon actually squares Uranus. And so Uranus is involved with this moon. And again, Uranus is a planet of rebellion, of innovation, is all about breaking the rules, all about doing things differently, all about not following the status quo. And so if you're, not free flowing, maybe you vibe more with Uranus energy. But this, with it being a square to the moon, or the moon squaring Uranus, this can bring on some emotional tension due to sudden changes. Or, you have this internal and, sudden insight, of how you want to do things, how, the things that you're frustrated about, what you need to do differently. And then that creates tension on your understanding of security, or a need to change things up and reinvent a sense of security. So, we could take it both ways. The outside end can be, forcing us to change our perspective on what is security, or we will have sudden insight and therefore create, chaos in the moment. But it allows an ability to create a new foundation, because Saturn's involved with this too. So building formating those rules and ways of being in the world, so that it helps achieve what it is that we are desiring day to day. All about that detail and the actual work behind it. So, how can you make the most of this moon experience with Aquarius, this new moon in Aquarius? Well, definitely take a look at where Aquarius, what house Aquarius rules in your chart. Again, it looks like this, the glyph of Aquarius. And depending on your placement, that's where you need to focus on, and, have that new insight that can be readily available to you. So, there might be some things that are coming up that are contradicting, maybe some contradicting ideas, maybe it's some kind of sense of, confrontation that needs to have more of your, awareness, your attention on, so that you can become more free in this area of your life. You're not no longer held back and restricted by old rules that are no longer fulfilling what it is that you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to live, or what you're trying to experience just in general in your everyday life. Because it doesn't have to necessarily be, this big goal. It could just be your just daily experience. So another thing too to think about with this moon, to make it the most um, to your benefit, is think about what is your new baseline or your new bottom line. Um, what are your non-negotiables? If it's in the area of relationships, there's your seventh house. This moon is highlighting for you. What are your non-negotiables for relationships, your partnerships? When are people crossing certain boundaries that you're no longer willing to bend on? Or how are you willing, what is this new idea that's coming out that you now can kind of relate to your relationships or just like your ideas around relationships? How can they be developed in a more realistic form so that you are experiencing what you want to experience in your relationships? So let me see if I can bring this down. So, like for instance, like if it is the seventh house, maybe you're dealing with people that are very different from you and they're not ashamed of how different they are from other people. They might be erratic, they might be just just genius on their own and creative. But, how relate to them might be transformed here or it can be re invented, but you would have to think about the certain boundaries that you have with this type of person because there may not be no one's thinking about your boundaries. They're only thinking about themselves and what they are wanting to do and achieve in their lives. But if you're not if you're not clear about your boundaries, they're not going to know them, right? And so being able to um express your non-negotiables is really important. I think with this new moon, and especially with it being involved with Saturn, is like those boundaries, new boundaries need to be set in place so that you can have this collaborative relationship, and it's not like a one-sided thing, and then brewing chaos, thanks to the square to Uranus in the Taurus sector of your life. So another thing that can help make the most of this moon experience is pull a tarot card, and meditate on this card. So maybe you can think about, what is it that you need to focus on with this new moon, um, so that you can open up to new opportunities that Aquarius is willing to show, during the season. I like to do this actually. I do this every day. Pull a card and meditate on it and just build a relationship with this card, and how it relates to my like everyday life, and I have a deeper understanding of myself and what it is that just like the life that I'm trying to build, and how can I make that more tangible. My cards help me do that, and so just kind of it just makes me be aware of like what is it that I need to address, like a feeling I need to address, or a situation I need to address, anything like that. Um, a crystal. Actually, I didn't grab it, but you can look it up. So amethyst. Amethyst is a great crystal to work with for this new moon in Aquarius because uh, amethyst helps if you meditate with it and you're sensitive to energy. It helps you open up to new ideas and then being able to assimilate them, apply them into your life. And so you're being open up to these ways of doing things, or needing to open up to new ways of doing things is really important with Aquarius, and you would actually need that a little oomph to it too because of that Saturn, depending on your relationship to Saturn or your reality. You might feel restricted in reality, or you could just see that as an ally and your ability to play with reality. So I think Aquarius helps you open up and see possibilities and not feel so depressed that the Moon and Saturn can do. If you're just feeling really heavy and not sure where to make things push in what direction you should go. Um, so yes, so amethyst is really good with helping open up your mindset and how to use those ideas that are coming to you and what are actually useful and what are actually just a distraction. So I hope that this new moon experience is good for you, and that you use it to your best of your ability. Stay aware of whatever is not working for you in this life, and be willing to let that go. And yeah, set your intentions for this new moon so that you are in motion to building a life that you actually want and desire day to day, you know, and forever forward. If you would like a moon reading or go deeper into this moon experience, you can get a moon reading. Um, Check out the button below. You get to know more about that service and what that entails. But basically, it's going deeper into your chart, and I will be able to pull some cards for you so that you can focus on, or just to give some awareness of what to focus on for this new moon experience. So other than that, I hope that you have a great new moon in Aquarius, and I will see you next time. Bye.